Hello, it is Friday, April 21st at 2023 at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, USA, 14:30. Mitch Mose, this is my video journal. My ear feels like it's getting a little worse. It was getting better while I was on the trip. It's no pain yet, but I've had stomach issues since 4 o'clock this morning, so hopefully it's not an ear infection. I want to start off by addressing the supercomputers, AI. A little intel from Aarhus, or Aalborg, Denmark. When I was there toward the end of my stay, must have been December, when I was staying in the Tusenfrue, a military-grade helicopter did hover a block or two away from where I was staying. Hovered there for quite some time. I went out and visually verified it. So if that military helicopter is still operational, we can use that as a reference to run diagnostics on the military equipment of the Ukraine, of Europe. Interesting story I read on Reddit talking about military equipment. It looks like one of the Russian flagships of the Navy, or whatever branch they call that, needs upgraded, and they're not going to spend the money to upgrade it. It's a battle cruiser. So that is an actual piece of Russian military equipment. It's not a piece of civilian equipment that was classified as military. It would be interesting. I don't know how Operation Oligarch's going, if we're going to get an oligarch ship and establish neutral equipment. My landline's ringing right now. Maybe that's the government themselves calling me to tell me to come to DC. I'm not going to answer it right now. It's probably my dad. Interesting piece of equipment. I don't know if we could make that neutral equipment for the supercomputers and AI to work off of. I don't even know how that would work, if the Russians would have to sell that for $1 to the EU or some neutral country. Yeah. Anyhow, I wanted to talk a bit about my experiences. I've been through multiple institutions, and I believe I'm wirelessly sensitive. That I came into certain psychotic episodes, so that I would be documented in the computer systems here in the United States and the EU. I would be given a reference patient number or prisoner number that could be used to validate and verify the system and keep other patients and prisoners safe, because we have a corrupt judiciary system in the United States and probably in the EU that took away the right to trial by jury and arrests probably 75% more people than what is necessary. At least of what the government should be capable of doing, right? And you may say the major crimes get a right to trial by jury, but what leads a person down a life of crime? Is it that headlight being burnt out and then their car searched and a little bit of marijuana found in it? And that being a bench trial, the judge saying you're sentenced, and them now having a criminal record and their only option for work is McDonald's, or they can sell drugs or rob houses and make a lot more. Right? So what leads them down? It's those initial stops and crimes and things that shouldn't even be allowed to happen as per the Constitution, before those people actually assault someone, rob, or sell large amounts of a drug. So Senator Rick Scott just got back to me. Maybe that's who called me on my phone. Who knows? So, I have these reference numbers, and as I said, I went into a DUI checkpoint even though I was warned it was there. I was kind of dazed, kind of in autopilot. Maybe the supercomputers needed my fingerprints in that FBI fingerprint database to validate and verify some stuff, right? Maybe these computer systems get confused by the FBI and other government agencies coming up with fake identities in there to send their spies in, or for people who testified for them, witness protection, so on and so forth. And it confuses the system, and they need valid. So for every time you did that, I had to go experience an incarceration to revalidate the system, right? Same with the EU. I made a series of videos in Denmark. Now you can see that I was experiencing some psychosis, but I was picking up on wireless waves there. Some of that stuff made sense. Some of it I was communicating to other poetically in other ways. But the psychosis where I actually closed myself in Tusenfrue and stayed in for multiple days, that didn't happen till the end of December, near Christmas time. And again, maybe these supercomputers needed me to get my fingerprint in that Interpol fingerprint database to solve crime. They want to solve serious crime, not the BS crime that the criminal justice system in the United States has inflated itself to become. Crime we can all agree on, not a bunch of lawmakers making decisions for us. So, the last thing I want to talk about is my plan for allowing supercomputers to investigate the banking industry. And I said I have a plan for the entire federal government, local state governments, even the entire country, to ping their bank accounts off of bank accounts associated with me. The supercomputers would support my livelihood. They can't actually physically take funds from somebody's account and put them into mine. But if they see that somebody's supporting my livelihood, supporting my programs and projects, which I think they agree with and want to see happen as soon as possible, they might look into their bankers, the banking practices of their banks, and make sure everything's on the up and up and it's not going to collapse. Now, the most simple way that, and this is globally, that people can ping their bank account off of and the cheapest way, is to purchase the novel Femme Party from Amazon. That Amazon account is linked directly to my bank account. It's 99 cents. You click a button, pay 99 cents, you get a file in your bank account that's linked to your Amazon account, pings off of mine, right? And we know that Amazon has huge supercomputing capability, and they're probably working on artificial intelligence. They also have a huge human-based workforce that covers huge ground GPS. It's a huge data system, and some people may not support that company. They're pushing to go totally green and carbon neutral. They're taking the right steps. I don't think anyone should make $1 billion a year or whatever Bezos makes, but they are pushing things in the right direction. And compared to UPS and FedEx, I think they're leading the push for a green sustainability initiative. And with mass shootings, pandemics, people don't want to go to public places. So we need those deliveries. And if it's green, totally green, then it doesn't hurt anything. Number 2, my plan is these shirts I designed, they're on my laptop. They say there's no can't in American, right? There's a red one, a blue one, and a white shirt, all with opposite colors incorporated into each, red, white, and blue on each shirt. So I want to work with Nick McCall at Neon Grouse Embroidery. I'm going to get a batch of 150 of these shirts to sell at the store to raise money. For all profit that I get from it will go to the nonprofit fund for solar panels, rural solar panels and green energy initiatives in the urban areas. So I'm going to put that in my podcast, which I'm not going to do today. I'm going to wait to set up more infrastructure for this situation. So anyone in the federal government can purchase, there's no can't in American shirt. Anyone in the United States can purchase it through Neon Grouse. Nick will give me $2 a shirt. We'll try to make it the most green. I'm going to task him with that, the most eco-friendly shirt that we can possibly make. Get at a reasonable price. And the shirts will probably be $20 or $25 plus shipping, or maybe shipping included in the United States. Now, Nick has told me before he doesn't like to ship outside the United States. It becomes a scam, fraud, there's all kinds of tax things. So that would be for the United States. But the shirt applies to Central America, South America. There's no can't in American. So we can work with, that's what I'm saying, is the deadline passed. So if the United States isn't going to investigate its own banking industry, I open this up to any country around the world that wants to work with me. We can work with a screen printing shop in your country, Mexico, South America, Central America, to deliver these shirts and link up my bank account so that they either write a check or hit me with, and then all that'll stay separate. So if it's South America, that the funds raised by those shirts in South America by each individual country will go towards starting a similar nonprofit fund for solar panels in your country, right? We can also, there's tons of options. Some other ones I've thought of. There's no can't in Costa Rican, right? There's no can't in African. So all African nations, if you want to get involved with this, we can find a screen printing shop in each country in Africa. The funds, in order for them to ping my bank account and start an investigation into your banking industry, we might have to physically transfer the money into my bank account, then redistribute it back to an account in your country to start the fund. Or I could partner with people, and for this fund, it can be male or female. We're not talking about jumping up the technology equilibrium. We're talking about shirts, raising money to put solar panels in as many places as possible in renewable energy. So I could partner with the screen printing shop itself. Possibly we can open a bank account in my name or a joint bank account or start the nonprofit with a group in your country, and that nonprofit bank account will receive the funds from my idea. There's no can't in American, there's no can't in African, there's no can't in Costa Rican, there's no can't in Mexican, right? And the can in the country name is a different color than the rest of the script. So the can't and the can are the same color, the rest is a different color. So for example, on the blue shirt, the can't and the can are red and the writing is white. And I'll put these up on the trafnet.org site. I was going to start a new website for this initiative, but I just don't have the funds right now. I'll get there by the end of the summer. So that's a way that people can start pinging their bank accounts, how we can open bank accounts in your home country to investigate your own banking industry. Again, most nations around the world are facing the same thing. The baby boomers are pulling their money out. They're spending it on not tangible goods like products. They're spending it on trips, which is why I think we should shift our retirement fund to physical resorts. We should take those away from the billionaires, make them a publicly funded situation, and that's why we need to shift our economy around a little bit, because these baby boomers will be taking multiple trips a year to resorts, to hotels. So we should shift our retirement, take it out of the stock market, which is corrupt, somewhat evil, and highly invested in satellite systems, artificial intelligence, supercomputing, basically slaves. And then their business practices encourage slave labor around the world. They use labor laws, environmental laws, and the protection of our military here in the United States to promote slave labor, environmental atrocities. And that's our United States business people. That's how they operate. They've operated like that since the 50s. Well, probably more since the 60s. And it doesn't have to be that way. Let's teach them a lesson. Let's start this fund for retirement. It's based on community-driven resorts and hotels. Make communities better. Anyhow, that's my... I doubt the United States will do it, because everybody's getting lobbyist money and paid off by these billionaires. But maybe in other countries you can structure your retirement program not based on a stock market, but based on property and real estate, and having pride in your nation's real estate and property, and driving communities to be better. Alright, that's all I wanted to talk about on this one. I'm going to read my email from Rick Scott and see what he has to say about the Transparency and Importation Act. He's a Republican, so he's probably not for it, but maybe he'll say what Bob Casey said: hey, I'll take this around to Washington with me and see what we can do. Check my messages, see who called, and thanks for watching. Join me next week when I talk about something else. Hopefully someone contacts me to move forward with Operation Oligarch and other operations that we're trying to take care of here.